Whole sports all plays. Yeah. Whole sports all plays. Whole sports all plays. 365, we making a plays. You talking the game, get you through the days. Behind the court, the dime in the lane. Variety, topics, living the same. All presentation, sports information. Hitting the airways, taking the nation. Sport all plays, like working your faces. Grace at the field, so tie the laces. Whole sports all plays.
All right, what's up, sports fans? Welcome to Easy Money, a sports betting show. I'm Chris Gonzalez, your host. We're going got a big show today. Got a big slate of NBA games that we'll break down. Some NHL games we'll break down. Get in a little bit of all that. Before we get started, don't forget we're live Monday through Friday, 3 p.m. Eastern. We got off a little bit late start today, but usually at 3 p.m. Eastern. And you can we're live on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch at Gonzo Sports Room. And now we're happy to announce we're also live on the ASAP Sports Network, All Sports, All Plays. We're live on their YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch as well. So make sure you go check out All Sports, All Plays Network. They're a great network as well. All right. Also, we have a sports talk show, GSR Gonzo Sports Room. That shows Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 11 p.m. Eastern. Come join us for that. You can find that show on the Gonzo Sports Room channels, YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch. You can also find both of them shows in podcast form on Apple Podcast, Anchor Podcast, Spotify, Google Podcast. Most places you listen to podcasts, you can find us. We also have a pro wrestling podcast, GWR Gonzo's Wrestling Room. New episodes of it drop weekly every Sunday at 9 a.m. Eastern. You can find it on the Apple Podcast, Anchor Podcast, Spotify, Google Podcast. Most places you listen to podcasts. You can find it at Gonzo's Wrestling Room. If you'd like to watch the video version of it, you can find the video version on our YouTube page at Gonzo Sports Room. Or you're over there on that YouTube page, please hit that subscribe button. We greatly appreciate it. If you're watching on Facebook and Twitch, hit that follow button. Same thing for the All Sports, All Plays channels. Hit that subscribe button, hit those follow and like buttons for them as well. They put out a lot of great content over there. Follow us on social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all at Gonzo Sports Room. That's where we post all the information about our shows, including interview announcements, our daily picks from this show, Easy Money, a sports betting show. Go there. You can find all the information on our social media pages. Tomorrow night, we'll have a special interview as independent pro wrestling tag team, IPW tag team champions, Dalton Love and Luke Savage Love. Will be joining us Wednesday night at 7 p.m. Eastern on our YouTube, Facebook. We'll be live on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch at Gonzo Sports Room. All right, let's jump right into today's games. We'll start in the NBA. First game in the NBA is going to be the Cavs after Magic. Just one second here. Right, trying to get all these posts shared real quick. So, ways people, everybody knows that we're live and knows where to find us. We're now on the All Sports, All Plays network as well. Up there real quick. All right, here we go. First game in the NBA tonight, we have the Cleveland Cavaliers at the Orlando Magic. The Cavaliers are 8.5-point favorites on the road. They are minus 390 on the money line. The Orlando Magic are plus 310 on the money line. Over under for this game is set at 221. These are two teams that's been going in the opposite directions. The Cavs are 43 and 36 on the season. They've struggled they've struggled on the road, and they've struggled here a little bit as of late. But the Cavs have had a lot better team than I think anybody expected them to have coming into this season. This is the first time they've had a winning record since LeBron left. Uh, and the first time they're going to finish with above 500 since LeBron left. They struggle on the road. They are 2-7 ATS their last 9 games. The Orlando Magic are 20 and 59 on the season. They've been one of the worst teams in the league. They're in complete rebuild mode. They've lost 6 straight, and they are 1-5 ATS the last 6 games. I like the Cavs in this game. I think 8.5 scares me a little bit, just because the Cavs haven't been playing their best basketball lately, and they can struggle on the road. I lean toward the Cavs at the minus 8.5. But what I like better in this game is the over 221. All right, next game we have is the 76ers at the Indiana Pacers. Sixers are 11-point favorites on the road. They're minus 670 on the money line. The Pacers are plus 490 on the money line. Over under for this game is set at 234.5. This is another game against two teams that are going totally different directions. The Sixers are trying to compete for a championship this year. I don't think they're going to make it that far, but that's their goals. Where the Pacers are back in the rebuild mode. They've traded people away. Injuries have hurt them. The 76ers are 48-30. They've been good. They've been good on the road. They're 1-4 ATS the last 5 games, so they haven't been covering the spread here as of late. The Pacers are on a 7-game losing streak. They are 25-54 on the season. Brogdon is questionable with his back. Pacers have lost a lot of close games. I know they don't have a very good record, but it's not like they've been getting blown out all the time. A lot of their games have been real close games. So I like the Pacers tonight to cover the spread at the plus 12.5. I'm a big Pacers fan as well, but I'm also realistic. I see the Sixers winning this game tonight. I don't see the Pacers getting blown out. I see it being a close game. So I like the Pacers at the plus 12.5. Next game on the NBA schedule is the Atlanta Hawks versus the Toronto Raptors. This game is at 7:40 p.m. Eastern Time. The Raptors are 4-point favorites at home. They are minus 178 on the money line. The Atlanta Hawks are plus 150 on the money line. Over under for this game is set at 226. The Hawks are 41-37 on the season. Both these teams have had about the same kind of year. I think people expected the Hawks to have a little bit better year after the way they played at the end of last season. But the Hawks are 41-37. They average 114 points per game. They're led by Trae Young. The Hawks put up a lot of points. The thing with the Hawks is they struggle on the road, and they struggle playing defense. When they play defense, they can be real tough because they can score with about anybody. Their defense just hasn't held up. And like I said, they play a lot better at home than they do on the road. The Raptors are 45-33. They average scoring 109 points per game. They are 5-1 over their last 6 games. The Raptors play good defense. I think the Raptors defense will be able to slow the Hawks down enough, and I don't see the Hawks defense slowing down the Raptors as much. I like the Raptors here at home. I'd take them at the minus 178 on the money line. Not worry about the 4 points. Next game is the Houston Rockets at the Brooklyn Nets. The Nets are Excuse me. The Nets are 17-point favorites in this game. They are minus 2,200 on the money line. The Rockets are plus 1,100 on the money line. Over under for this game is set at 244.5. Rockets are one of the worst teams in the league. They are 20-59 on the season, and they have been terrible on the road. They haven't been good at home either. They've been terrible everywhere, I guess I should say. But they are 9-30 on the road this season. They are 3-9 ATS their last 12 road games. So they haven't been winning on the road, and they definitely don't cover on the road very often at a high rate. But the Nets have not been just moving right along with no problems themselves. They're 40-38 on the season. They've dealt with some injuries. They had Irving missing part of the games because of the vaccine rule. Uh, they traded away James Harden. Ben Simmons, what I've said is not what I've heard is not coming back for the play-in. So if he does come back, it won't be until the regular playoffs. The Nets are below 500 at home, so it's not like the Nets are just a world beater at home either. And they're coming off a loss to Atlanta. But the Nets are going to be too much for the Rockets. 17 points is just too many points for me. I like the under the 244.5. The Nets can score a lot of points. I just don't see the Raptors scoring enough points to get up to that for them to get up to that total. So I like the under the 244.5. I think the Brooklyn Nets win this game. 17 points is just too many points to give up. Next game is the Charlotte Hornets at the Miami Heat. The Miami Heat are 5.5-point favorites at home. They're minus 225 on the money line. The Hornets are plus 188 on the money line. Over under for this game is set at 227. All right, Nick. The Hornets and Heat. This is going to be a good game. The Hornets offensively are one of the best teams in the league. Uh, they are 40-38 on the season. They have won 7 of their last 10 games. They are 5-1 ATS over their last 6 games. So the Hornets have been playing well here as of late. They're great. Like I said, they're great offensively. They're just not very good as a defensive team. Um, the Heat, I think, have surprised people. They're the number 1 seed in the East right now. I think they're up by 2 games, if I remember correctly. They are 51-28 on the season. They're on a 4-game winning streak. Uh, the Heat don't have that like one big superstar that you think of. But they have a lot of good players, and they play well together. Oladipo has came back off injury and has been playing well. Yeah, Butler, Hero's been balling, probably 6th man of the year this season. Uh, I like the Miami Heat to win this game, but I think this will be a real close game. I think 5.5 points is too many points. Uh, I like the. I lean toward the Hornets here at the plus 5.5. I like the Hornets at the plus 5.5, and I like the. I would lean toward the over the 227 in this game. I think the Hornets are going. I think the Hornets will cover. The Hornets' offense is just too. Hornets' offense, so it's hard to lay 5 or to give up 5 points with the Hornets when, or not to take the Hornets when they're getting 5 points like that because the Hornets' offense is hard to stop, and they've been playing good ball coming into this game. So I like the Hornets here at the plus 5.5. All right, next game we have in NBA tonight is going to be the Portland Trailblazers at the OKC Thunder. This game starts at 8:10 p.m. Eastern time tonight. Neither one of these teams have had great years. Portland is 27-51 on the season. Damian Lillard is out. They traded away Lowry. Uh, they don't have much depth or nobody that or really a top scorer like they need right now. Lillard out. They're on a 7-game losing streak, and they've lost 11 of their last 12. Uh, OKC Thunder is 23-55 on the season. They're coming off a win over the Suns. They average 104 points per game, and they're ravaged by injuries right now. I mean, uh, right now they're playing without their top 5 scorers, and they're still being and like I said, they won the last game, so they're still being competitive. Uh, Trailblazers just haven't been very competitive. I like the OKC Thunder here on the money line. Next game tonight should be a really good game, as you have the Milwaukee Bucks at the Chicago Bulls. The Bulls are, or excuse me, this game starts at 8:10 p.m. Eastern time. The Bucks are 6.5 point favorites on the road. They're minus 275 on the money line. The Bulls are plus 225 on the money line. Over under for this game is set at 231.5. Both these teams have had a pretty good season. The Bucks got off to a slow start in the season, dealing with some injuries to some of their key players. They got healthy, and then they started playing good basketball. They're on a 2-game losing streak. They're led by Giannis with about averaging almost 30 points a game. They're coming off the loss to the Dallas Mavericks. As a team, the Bucks average 115 points per game, and they are 9-4 ATS for the last 13 road games. The uh, Bulls have probably been a surprise to a lot of teams with their record and how competitive they've been in the standings this year. And I'll say competitive in the standings because if you look at the Bulls season, when they played a team that's currently in the playoffs, they're like 3-20 something. They've won the games they should win, but they have not beaten none of the teams that are competitive teams or that are playoff teams uh, at a very high rate. Uh, they've been hurt by injuries as well. Don't get me wrong. Uh, they've had some key injuries on that team I think that's hurt that team. They're led by DeRozan at 28 points per game. They average 112 points per game, and they are 12-5 ATS their last 17 at home. So they cover good at home. But I think the Bucks win this game. But minus 275 on the money line is too rich, right no value there. Uh, I think this will be a real close game no matter who wins. But I'm gonna go with the Bucks at the minus 6.5 in this game. Next game is the Washington Wizards at the Minnesota Timberwolves. Timberwolves are 12.5 point favorites at home. They are minus 820 on the money line. The Washington Wizards are plus 570 on the money line. Over under for this game is set at 238.5. The Wizards are 34-44 on the season. Uh, they're eliminated from playoff contention. So I mean, they're they're not. They don't have nothing to play for this year. Injuries have really kind of hurt them. They're led by Porzingis at 22 points per game. They average 109 points per game, and they allow 112 points per game defensively. They're 13-27-1 at ATS their last 41 games. The T Wolves are 48-34 in the season. They've won 2 in a row. They are 16-5-1 ATS. They average scoring 116 points per game, and they are 16-5-1 ATS for the last 22 home games. So they cover at a high rate at home. I like the Timberwolves in this game. 12 and a half 12.5 points are just too many points for me to give up in an NBA game. So I would lean toward the under the 238.5 in this game. The under 238.5. Next game you have the San Antonio Spurs at the Denver Nuggets. The Nuggets are 8.5 point favorites at home. They are minus 390 on the money line. The Spurs are plus 310 on the money line. Over under for this game is set at 234. Spurs are 33-45 on the season. They've won 2 in a row. They average 113 points per game. They are 61 ATS the last 7 games. They hold they lead the Lakers by 2 games for the last play-in spot for the playoffs, and they hold a tiebreaker over the Lakers. And they are 19-9 ATS for the last 28 games. The Denver Nuggets are 47-32. It's remarkable the year they've had with missing some of the players they've had. They've been missing Jamal Murray, uh, Michael Porter Jr. Both of them almost the whole season. It's amazing what Jokic has been able to carry this team through this season. They average 112 points per game. They're coming off a win over the Lakers. They are 1-7 ATS for the last 8 home games, and they are 1-4 ATS overall, or last 5 games overall. I think this is going to be a good basketball game. I think 8.5 points is actually too many points here. I like the Spurs at the plus 8.5. Next game, you have the Memphis Grizzlies at the Utah Jazz. The Jazz are 6 point favorites at home. They are minus 240 on the money line. The Grizzlies are plus 194 on the money line. Over under for this game is set at 226. The Grizzlies are a surprise team this year. They're a lot better team than what people want to give them credit for. They are 55-23 on the season. They are on a 7-game win streak. They're led by Ja Morant, who averages 28 points per game. But this team is just they're a solid basketball team. Everybody kind of knows what their role is. The ball keeps moving. They're fun to watch. And the reason I say they're a complete basketball team as well is they're like 16-2 without Ja Morant. So yes, Ja Morant does a lot for the Grizzlies, and he's their star player, and they need him. But it isn't like that's all they have. They're a pretty complete team. The Jazz have won 4 of their last 5. They're 0-7 ATS their last 7. The Jazz are just such a hit and miss team. Uh, they're one of them teams that it seems like when the going gets rough a little bit, they go the other way. Uh, it's if they're hitting their threes, they're tough to beat. If they can't hit their threes, they're in trouble. I don't understand why they are 6 point favorites against the Grizzlies in this game. That makes no sense to me. I actually like the Grizzlies on the money line here at plus 194. That's just too good a value to have the Grizzlies on the money line. Uh, or you can take them at the plus 6. Excuse me, you get that to minus 112. So either way, I would take them. But I like the Grizzlies money line, and I like the over the 226 in this game as well. All right, and to cap off next game we have is the New Orleans Pelicans at the Sacramento Kings. This game starts at 10:10 p.m. Eastern Time. Pelicans are 8 point favorites on the road. They are minus 360 on the money line. Excuse me. Kings are plus 290 on the money line. Over-under for this game is set at 224. The Pelicans are 34-44 on the season. They've won 6 of their last 10 games. They're 16-23 on the road, 6-2 ATS their last 8 games. They beat the Kings by 35 points back in March. The Kings are just not a very good team at all. They're 20-50 on the season. Uh, they've lost 5, or they're 5-5 over their last 10 games. They are 16-24 at home. I like the Pelicans in this game at the -8. And then last game in the NBA tonight, starting at 10:40 p.m. Eastern Time, you have the Los Angeles Lakers at the Phoenix Suns. The Suns are 12.5-point favorites at home. They are -850 on the money line. The Lakers are plus 590 on the money line. Over-under for this game is set at 231.5. Uh, this is a team against, or this is a game between teams that one team is the best team in the NBA right now, and that is the Phoenix Suns. And the Lakers are probably one of the most disappointing teams in the NBA right now. If you go by what their fan base thought, and while a lot of the media personalities and everybody thought that what this Lakers team was going to do this year, this Lakers team is going to be lucky to make the playoffs. They're going to have to win probably 3 of their last 4, if not all of their last 4 to get in. They trailed the Spurs by 2 games for that last spot, and the Spurs have a tiebreaker on them. So I don't see the Lakers making the playoffs this year. I see LeBron James leaving town. I think he's going. I think he's going back to back Cleveland uh, instead of going back to back to Cali. Anyway, Lakers are 31-40 on the season. They are 30-42 ATS. They allow 114 points per game. They are 0-5 their last 5 games. Uh, Offensively, they average scoring 111 points per game, and they average 14 turnovers a game. Excuse me. And then you have the Phoenix Suns, who's been the best team in the NBA all season. They are 62-16 on the season. They're 31-8 at home. They are 3-2 overall their last 5. They average 115 points per game. Defensively, they allow 107 points per game. Uh, they just, uh, I don't see the Lakers winning this game. Now, I think 12.5 points can be too many points. I'm not sure if LeBron's going to play tonight. I know he didn't play in their last game. Uh, even if they play, I think the Suns win the game, but 12.5 points is just too many points for me to give up. But the over the 231.5 is where is what my play would be on this game. Over 231.5. All right, that's all the NBA games tonight. Of course, there is no college basketball games as we had a national championship game last night. Uh, Kansas is your national champions as they didn't cover the spread. So that burdened me. I had Kansas at the -4. They weren't able to cover the spread last night, but they did get the victory. It was a crazy game. I mean, Kansas was down by 16 and was able to come back and win that game. So you don't see that a whole lot of times. A team can gets down that far, especially being down by 15, 16 at halftime and being able to fight all the way back and win that game. Uh, Kansas's defense they played a lot better in the second half. More turnovers hurt North Carolina in that second half as well, and then North Carolina just couldn't hit some shots. All right, next game. But anyway, that was the college basketball. It's over with. That game we didn't get right last night. Like I said, we took them at the -4, and they only won by 3. So let's move over to some NHL. We'll go through a little bit of hockey real quick before we get to my picks of the day for today. In All right, first game we have in the NHL is the New York Rangers at the New Jersey Devils. The Rangers are 1.5, 1.5, -1.5 on the puck line, -150 money line. The Devils are +125 on the money line. Over under for this game is at 6.5. The Rangers are 44-20-6 on the season. The Rangers are on a 2-game losing streak. The Devils are on a 3-game losing streak. I think the Rangers are the better team in this game. I like the Rangers here on the money line at the -150. Next game is the Colorado Avalanche at the Pittsburgh Penguins. This game starts at 7:09 p.m. Eastern Time. The Penguins are -1.5 on the puck line, -115 money line. The Avalanche are -104 on the money line. Over under for this game is set at 6.5. The Avalanche are on a 3-game winning streak. They are strong offensively. They are 8-2 8-2 the last 10 games overall. The Penguins are 3-2 over their last 5 games. The Penguins had a hard fought battle last night. I like the Avalanche here on the money line. I think their offense is going to be too much for the Penguins. I think the Avalanche on the money line at the -104, and I would lean toward the over the 6.5 in this game. Then you have the Columbus Blue Jackets at the Philadelphia Flyers. The Flyers are a -1.5 on the puck line, -127 on the money line. The Columbus Blue Jackets are +114 on the money line. Over under for this game is set at 6.5. I like the Columbus Blue Jackets here at the +1.5. I can see the Flyers winning this game, but I think it's just going to be by 1 goal. It's going to be a hard fought game. So I'm going with the Columbus Blue Jackets at the +1.5. Next game is the Carolina Hurricanes at the Buffalo Sabres. The Hurricanes are -1.5 on the puck line, -280 on the money line. Sabres are +225 on the money line. Over under for this game is set at 6.5. The Hurricanes are 45-16-8 on the season. They are 2-5 their last 7 on the road. The Sabres are 25-34-11 on the season, and they are 19-40 their last 59 games at home. The Sabres have not played well at home at all. I like the Hurricanes here at the -1.5. Next game is the Toronto Maple Leafs at the Florida Panthers. The Panthers are -1.5 on the puck line, -164 on the money line. The Maple Leafs are +136 on the money line. Over under for this game is set at 7. Pretty high number for hockey, 7. Maple Leafs are 44-19-5 on the season. They are on a 4-game winning streak. They're strong offensively. And then you have the Panthers, who are also on a 4-game winning streak, and they have the best offense in the league. So you have two good offenses going to be going at each other in this game tonight. Should be a great game to watch. Uh, I'm go- I'm going to go with the Florida Panthers at the -164. Uh, I just think their offense is going to be a little too much, and I'm going to go. I'm gonna go with the under the 7 in this game. I like the Florida Panthers here on the money line. The next game we have in the NHL tonight is the Senators at the Canadiens. The Ottawa Senators are -1.5 on the puck line, -114 on the money line. Canadiens are -105 on the money line. Over under for this game is set at 6. I like the Senators on the money line here. They have a little bit better on offense, and they're a little better. I think they're better on the defensive side as well. And I would lean toward the under the 6. Next game is the Boston Bruins at the Detroit Red Wings. Boston is -1.5 on the puck line, -215 money line. The Red Wings are +176 on the money line. Over under for this game is set at 6.5. This is going to be a good game here. I think the Stars win, or not the Stars. I moved on. I like the Bruins to win this game. The Red Wings have just not been playing great hockey here as of late. When you have the Minnesota Wild at the Nashville Predators, the Wild are -1.5 on the puck line, -110 on the money line. The Predators are -110 on the money line as well. This game's a pick 'em. Uh, Over under for this game is set at 6.5. Uh, this will be a fun game to watch. The Wild are 19-13-3 on the road. They are 9-0-1 over the last 10 games. The Predators are 21-11-0 at home, and they are 6-4 their last 10 games. Well, it should be a fun game to watch. I'm going with the Minnesota Wild in this game on the money line. And then the next game we have New York Islanders at the Dallas Stars. The Stars are -1.5 on the puck line. They are -130 on the money line. The Islanders are +108 on the money line. Over under for this game is set at 5.5. The Islanders are 32-27-9 on the season. They're on a 4-game winning streak. Stars are 39-26-3 on the season. They are 7-3 their last 2 games, and they are 21-9-1 at home this season. So they have been playing well at home. I'm going with the Stars here at home at -130 on the money line. And then last game in the NHL tonight, starting at 10:40 p.m. Eastern Time, you have the Edmonton Oilers at the San Jose Sharks. The Oilers are -1.5 on the puck line, -194 on the money line. Sharks are +160 on the money line. Over under for this game is set at 6.5. The Oilers are 40-25-5 on the season. They have won 7 of their last 10 games, and they are 5-1 the last 6 games. The Sharks are 29-31-8 on the season. They are on a 3-game losing streak. They are 1-4 their last 5, 3-7 overall their last 10 games, and they are 16-15-4 at home. Uh, I like the Edmonton Oilers here at the -194 on the money line, and I would lean toward the under the 6.5. All right, that's all the games for today. You have some soccer. You don't want me to give you no soccer picks. You do have the Masters getting ready to start here in a couple of days. You can get John Rahm at is the favorite at plus 1,200. JT Justin Thomas is at plus 1,300. Cameron Smith plus 1,500. Number one in the world, Scotty Scheffler is at plus 1,500. Dustin Johnson's at plus 1,500. And you have Brooks Koepka at plus 1,900. Sounds like Tiger Woods is going to be playing. I think you get him at like plus 500 to finish in the top 10. I would throw some on that. If he plays, I wouldn't be surprised if he's not. That I wouldn't be surprised if he was real competitive. So that's going to be fun to watch. But all right, let's move over here. We'll get to my picks of the day today. In NBA games, games I like tonight. I like the Indiana Pacers at the plus 12.5. I like the Toronto Raptors money line against the Hawks. I like the Charlotte Hornets plus 5.5 against the Miami Heat. I like the OKC Thunder money line against Portland. I like the San Antonio Spurs plus 8.5 against the Denver Nuggets. I like the Memphis Grizzlies money line against the Utah Jazz. And I like the Milwaukee Bucks minus 6.5 against the Chicago Bulls. That's all my picks for tonight in the NBA. To recap, the games I like in the NBA tonight are the Indiana Pacers plus 12.5, Toronto Raptors money line, the Charlotte Hornets plus 5.5, the OKC Thunder money line, the Milwaukee Bucks minus 6.5, San Antonio Spurs plus 8.5, and the Memphis Grizzlies on the money line. Then in the NHL tonight, in hockey tonight, I like the Colorado Avalanche money line, the New York Rangers money line, and the Florida Panthers money line. Also like the Dallas Stars money line. So in hockey tonight, I like the Dallas Stars money line, Panthers money line, the Rangers money line, and the Colorado Avalanche money line. But, all right, so we'll go back over. We'll go. I want to thank everybody for joining us today. If this is your first time joining us, please hit that follow button, the like button, the share button, subscribe button. We greatly appreciate it. No, I want to thank everybody for joining us. We really appreciate it. Everybody, especially if you're on the ASAP Sports Network, joining us. All Sports, All Plays, ASAP Sports Network. Glad you guys are tuning in. We're happy to be a part of the ASAP family now. This is Easy Money, a sports betting show. We are live Monday through Friday at 3 p.m. Eastern on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch at Gonzo on the Gonzo Sports Room Network, or channels, I should say. And then we're also live on the All Sports, All Plays ASAP Sports Network on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch as well. Make sure you follow the ASAP All Sports Network as well. Hit that subscribe button on their channels. Hit the follow and like button on their channels as well. Follow us on social media: Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all at Gonzo Sports Room. That's where we post everything about our shows. Our daily picks for Easy Money, a sports betting show, get posted on there. Interview announcements. We do have a big interview tomorrow night, Wednesday night, 7 p.m. Eastern. We'll be live on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch at Gonzo Sports Room as IPW Tag Team Champions. Dalton Love, Luke Savage, the Tag Team Savage Love will be in the house for a great conversation about some of their matches they got coming up this weekend. So you don't want to miss that. Also, we have a pro wrestling podcast, GWR Gonzo's Wrestling Room. You can find it on Apple Podcasts, Anchor Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts. Most places you listen to podcasts, you can find it at Gonzo's Wrestling Room. If you'd like to watch the video version of that, of the GWR Gonzo's Wrestling Room podcast, you can find the video version on our YouTube page at Gonzo's Sports Room. We also have a sports talk show that's live Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 11 p.m. Eastern on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch at Gonzo's Sports Room. Come join us for that. We had a great episode last night. If you missed last night's show, you can find it on our YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch channels. So make sure you go check it out. I want to thank everybody for joining us today. Hope everybody wins some money tonight. Just to recap real quick, my picks are in the NHL, Minnesota Wild money line, Panthers money line, Rangers money line, Avalanche money line, and the Stars money line. In the NBA, Grizzlies money line, San Antonio Spurs plus 8.5, the Milwaukee Bucks minus 6.5, the Okc Thunder money line, the Charlotte Hornets plus 5.5, Toronto Raptors money line, the Indiana Pacers plus 12.5. Hope everybody has a great day. Come join us tonight, 7 p.m. Eastern for Unscripted. I'll be with Jay McLovin, Logan Landers. I didn't even think Frankie's going to join us. You can find that show on the ASAP All Sports All Plays Network or at Unscripted on Facebook. So make sure you come check that out tonight. Thanks for joining Easy Money, a sports betting show today. We will see you guys tomorrow, 3 p.m. Eastern, with a new episode of Easy Money, a sports betting show. Thanks for joining us, and we will see you guys tomorrow. Be safe. Have a great day. Peace.
All sports, all plays. Yeah. All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. 365, we making up plays. You talking the game, get you to the days. We're high in the court, the dime in the lane. Variety, topics, living the same. All presentation, sports information. Hitting the airways, taking the nation. All sport, all plays, like working your faces. Grace at the field, so tie the laces.